Welcome to the channel. Today we are tackling data hub and scouting. It's actually something which was a small throwaway line in that dev update we had back in June 24, where they were talking about getting rid of the chalkboard stats and social media, and it prompted everyone to go, who uses the social media and who uses chalkboard stats? Well, the nerf for chalkboard stats. Well, today, we're going to have a look at a significant partnership Sports Interactive have with Analytics FC. Now, if you haven't heard of Analytics FC, we're going to cover them in a bit of detail and actually approach what they have got with Sports Interactive. It actually affects the women's football. It's really interesting as well as the men's football. But we're going to show you what their system, which is called Transfer Lab, actually entails and how similar it actually is in an interface to Sports Interactive's Football Manager series. Hopefully you'll like this. Why not like and subscribe if you do find this interesting? Comment down below which one of these ideas you like. Anyway, straight into it. Here we go. First of all, this is the announcement which was made on March 15th of 2022 by Analytics FC. Now, if you go under the Sports Interactive website, this is not a disclosed partner. It's not like Transfer Room or Women in Football or Foodies. This is not someone where they've actually publicized it that much. Now, I wonder if this is partly because of the women's football launch and how this has how they've gone about it. March of 22 is 6 months after they introduced the data hub in Football Manager 22. Currently, if you like the TIFO, you may remember Alex Stewart. Now, I loved Alex Stewart. He's great, right? He's brilliant. And he's become like the chief officer in Analytics FC. He joined them as a content creator and he's moved on and become the chief of Analytics FC. And they do fantastic newsletters. I will put the link down to them in the description. And I really do encourage you. There's some really interesting stuff that goes on. But Football Manager game developer Sports Interactive signs up with Analytics FC. So as you can see, last July, Sports Interactive announced that they were introducing women's football into the game. This commitment to women's football requires an incredible amount of in-game development on part of SI as they look to introduce a whole new aspect of the platform. As Miles has said, it's taken up to 28 years to build a database. To assist in the process, Sports Interactive will use Analytics FC Transfer Lab scouting system. In March 21, Analytics FC, in collaboration with Lane, Clark and Peacock, announced the launch of Transfer Lab as the first standalone women's football data analytics platform, which then, at this point in the blog, was covering 15,000 players across 24 leagues, and the database offers one of the richest resources when it comes to the analysis of women's football. So women's football in 2021, that's when they obviously did the thing. So then in, July 23, they announced that the number of leagues would increase to 33. This would include the Scottish first and second divisions, down to the third Australian third division, the Colombian League, the English Academy Leagues, the Hong Kong First Division, Northern Ireland Premier League, and the Portuguese Divisão. So it's going to be 33 leagues covered by Transfer Lab. So we now know women's football is going to be fairly detailed based on just this information. Now, here's where the exciting part comes in. I'm going to show you what the Transfer Lab looks like. Now, I really, really do like the Transfer Lab. So I can't start the 7-day trial, as you can imagine. First thing that grabbed my eye, right, was the layout looks very, very similar to what we've been seeing for FM25. You got striker, Serie A, you got lists a little bit by here. Look at this. This is the profile scoring for player potential over an age period. I really like this. Now, it is a bit FIFA ranking, so, bear with me on this one because I know people don't like the 97s and 92s. But look at that. You can have this could be what your scouting looked like. You could have, bear in mind, we've got Premier League licensing coming in. You could have the player, the age, the profile. Look, you can export it as an CSV. You've got scores, you've got domestic seasons, you've got seasons. If we could get this information going on, where you've got, for example, previous seasons, you can do analytics, you can filter it by the divisions. If we got this in a more improved data hub and it looked more like this, I think the community would blow their minds. I find this fascinating of how they've got this set up. And if this could then be transposed like we had with that portal where everyone's like, oh my word, this is awful, but it's very clean. It's very simple. It provides you a lot of information in a short amount of time. You can see the profile score of Haaland is at this age now. This is his best, this is the worst, this is the best. Very similar to Mr. Man's. We've got to give a shout out to Mr. Man. He's great on this type of stuff. I really do like that player potential for showing where they will fall off in 2024. I like the best 11, best XI, the best 11. This is what the profile would look in the league. Best keeper all round, best striker, best defenders. It's so clean, it's so simple. Can you imagine Football Manager looking that clean? You've got the Portal-esque type dimensions to it. I'm not saying Transfer Lab is definitely going to be what Football Manager 26 is. But when you look at the user interface, okay, it does look a little bit EAFC FIFA graphics. But it is a simple way of presenting data to someone who may not want to read that information by clicking the filters. You've got, show me the default metric for a fullback all round or a defensive midfielder holding. It's very Football Manager wording, but it's also incorporating a cleaner UI. Show me how many players per position. Show me the profile score, the tier score, the age categories. If you could sit there and change your entire scouting platform to be more modular, customizable, filter-based, I mean, this would be phenomenal if they could bring something like this into the Transfer Lab. If they were already looking at Transfer Room, for example, where you're looking at changing the way that intermediaries work, and now we're actually going, okay, we got Y-Scout, we got Huddle, we got Football Manager database. Let's make Football Manager look more like the industry standards. I mean, it's phenomenal. It is phenomenal. You got the age curves. Look at this age curve here. This is beautiful. This predicts, for example, that Ollie Watkins will peak and drop at certain points, but Boniface, he is not going to be there, and he's going to drop significantly lower when he hits 40. They're predicting that Boniface has been performing at a much higher level and is expected to drop off a lot quicker. I mean, we could only want this is Boniface. And if I can go, you can see here. Look, it's got the player profile. So it's got it's given an assigned value to expected goals, header quality, aerial wins, finishing quality. It's giving you the best, the worst. It's producing it on a radar or a percentile as a striker. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want that as a format? Player plots. Now we see this because this is already in a data hub. But look, at the moment in time, you have to go into a very specific profile. If they could open up the data so you could just filter, look, I just want to see leagues in Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Liga 1, Bundesliga. Can you imagine the functionality you would have by having a very, very clean profile? That would be a game changer. I'm sorry for everyone who complains about it's not enough data. This information where you could literally go, look, show me the best striker, look, Harry Kane in Bayern Munich, Randall Colomouani. Why I was getting his name really bad, I don't know, I was putting the French accent on. You got Kylian Mbappe. You've got all this information here, and you can go, look, give us a striker. I mean, it's West Ham, for God's sake. They're not going to be able to sign these players. But, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Liga 1, Bundesliga, give me the actual data, plot it on the graph. Let's see what is working out the best in real-time data. I mean, you'd be daft not to want that. Surely to God you'd want something like this. Benchmarking. Look at this. You could compare the elite, the good, the average. You could benchmark performance. So not just player plot. You can benchmark your team's performance against what is expected to be a good score. So, for example, they got John Guidetti, former FM Wonder Kid, and Andronikis Kaikoulis. Gotta be Greek. Guidetti is 33 at the AK, and you got Kakoulis with 24. Now, their player profiles are giving them a 79 and a 70. So in certain parts of the year, as they've developed, you can see here where it's going, look, they're good, they're great, historic data, that's when the contract's about to end. Thanks for watching the video. Why not check out one of these other videos? Until next time, like and subscribe. Have a good day. Cheerio.